Hey guys, this is Jeremy, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what it means to be a Christian in a secular world. For me, I'm actually coming out of the opposite side of things, where I was actually in ministry for 7 years of my life, and before that, I was raised by a family that had a pastor, so I'm a pastor's kid, and so by no means do I fully understand what it means to work in a secular world. In fact, 1 year out of my 30 years is working in that way. But I know that 29 years of my life, I've been in a very religious setting. And now I'm working in an organization that is secular. And it's not necessarily secular in the sense that it hates Christianity, it's just secular. And it's a counseling role. So in counseling, one of the biggest things that they talk about is that there's 5 different areas that you need to really invest in, and one of those is spirituality. And so how in the world do I help people, or if I were doing a job with computer programming, or if I was a teacher, or if I was any number of professions trying to own my faith, what are some things that I would do? And I'm coming at this from the standpoint of 29 years and doing ministry, or in a family that had ministry. And so one of the things that I have realized in this process is when you envelop yourself in a world of Christianity and faith, it's very easy to be a Christian, to recite the Bible, to pray, all those different things. Whereas if you are working in a job that does not have those as a foundation, then that's not necessarily going to be your first reaction. Now, I'm really grateful for the fact that I've had that kind of a basis, that foundation of an experience. And so that still is my anticipation in this process. But I think that one of the things I would love to hear from people, especially those that are not pastors, I have a lot of pastor friends, but those that are not pastors, those that are not in ministry or direct ministry of some sort, how is it that you handle your faith? I think for me, one of the biggest things is I have to be intentional in everything I do. I see a lot of pastors that love to make a comment that if you're not praying every single day, then you're doing it wrong. If you are not reading your Bible, you're doing it wrong. I agree with all of those things. But what happens when your day-to-day job is not to do Bible? And I'm talking about the job, I'm not talking about your life, because I think everybody are Christians, everybody is a pastor in their own sense. Maybe not a pastor spiritually, but you need to evangelize, you need to spread the gospel yourself. You need to pray, you need to do all those things, but how do you do them well whenever that's not your main job and you're not getting graded on that curve? Obviously, there's a different level of responsibility in that process, and pastors are held to a different standard. But what do you do? How do you maintain your spirituality in that process? I found for myself that it's the little things that are really important for me in this process. Praying with my son every single night, talking to my wife about how our faith interacts with us, going to church every single week. It's amazing whenever you're not in direct ministry with either your father being a pastor or mother, or if you are not actually doing direct ministry yourself, how difficult it can sometimes be to go to church. It's shocking for me, and I know that sounds silly, but it is. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, maybe from a different aspect. Pastors, you might have your own thoughts. Listen, don't talk. Hear what people have to say. So I'd love for you guys leave some comments down below. Thanks.